All right, so today we're looking at the M4N82 Deluxe from Asus. Now, Phenom 2 processors are becoming very popular. If you don't follow with the daily news, they are actually beginning to catch up with some of these guys at Intel, at least for the performance value sector. You know, if you don't want to spend a ton of money, you go with the Phenom 2s. The 920s and 940s are very overclockable. They're easy to play with, and they give you some pretty good, decent benchmarks, especially when you add in the price, when you're thinking, you know, how much performance you're going to get for how much money. So really good stuff. Now, this board is cool because it supports the AM3. It's the full support, so you're doing the Phenom 2s. It'll also support your Phenom X3s, your Phenom X4s, your Athlons, X2s, you name it. It'll even do Semprons. I mean, I really hope you don't throw a Sempron in a board that has three-way SLI. Why would you do that? Check this out. This is the board for the person that wants to run SLI graphics, but it's AMD processors. AM3 socket over here, up to 140 watt support. So you can go with the really big 955 Black Edition Phenom 2 if you want, no problem. Amazing layout of the board, the way everything works. Pretty much this is going to take advantage of the 980A chipset from NVIDIA, which is incredible. It provides the SLI. It actually provides hybrid SLI on top of that. It does the RAID and the Gbit LAN. HyperTransport 3.0 is on board here, 5200 mega transfers per second maximum. So that's the latest system bus from AMD. DDR2 support up here. You got 4 DIMMs. Those are going to let you do up to 16 gigabytes of memory, up to 1200 megahertz with overclocking and above. So 1200 megahertz, very, very high overclock for your memory. Besides that, you got a couple of really cool features. Let's talk about the back panel for a second. Coming over here to the back panel, looking at the front, you got 2 PS2s, USB 2.0, you got your optical down here and your coaxial here for your SPDIF audio, 1 cable solution up to 8 channels. You have FireWire and eSATA right there. You got 2 more USB 2.0s, I'm sorry, 4 more USB 2.0s, and then you have your Gigabit Ethernet and your very, very good sounding 8-channel audio, surprisingly. Probably didn't mention for sure in the specs, but the ALC 889A chip on board. I'm not sure, it didn't say, but I'm sure it's an Azalea chip. Really good quality. It sounded really great. I was very surprised. Now, let's talk about SATA. Board doesn't have a ton of SATA. It's not one of those huge boards for lots of hard drives, but it's got the basics. You're gaming, you have 3-way SLI, you're not going to need a lot of hard drives, you're going to want them outside of the case anyway. So you got 4 right here, and the 5th is right here. This is pretty much going to be used for your eSATA on your front panel connector, and then these are going to be your RAID options through that Southbridge chipset. This is going to give you 0, 1, 0 plus 1, and 5, as well as just a bunch of disks. That will all work on here. Let's talk a little bit about USB. This does, however, have a lot of USB. As you can see down here, you have 1, 2, and then a 3rd one right here. So that's 6 USBs added on to the 6 that are already in the back, brings the total to 12, which is about as high as you will ever see. Talking about expansion, gosh, a lot of expansion. You have 3 PCI Express X16 slots. Those are 2.0. They will work X16, X16, or if you populate all 3, they'll do X8, 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 or they'll do X16, X8, X8. Very nice setup for that. You will be able to retain, if you're doing dual slot video cards, you're going to lose everything here. You're not going to be able to work with anything. But if you work with single cards, like if you have 8000 GT or something, you will be able to use your PCIs. And at the bottom here, you do have a PCI Express X1, which is really cool. Also, before we finish this review, let you know a couple interesting things. This board is kind of famous for its hybrid SLI. It's not just regular SLI, it's hybrid SLI. Now, that consists of 2 things. GeForce Boost is not applicable on this board, but GeForce Boost is to give you the basic runaround. Pretty much onboard graphics, video card, whenever you're not using a demanding 3D application, it's going to use the onboard graphics, and then when you're not, you're going to use the video card. You know, it's going to save you energy. Now, the other one is hybrid power. That's the same thing. What that does is it dynamically underclocks and undervolts your video cards when you're not using them. So if you want to get a board that's going to save you a lot of power, it's not going to be a waster, even though it's got 3 huge graphic cards. Hybrid power can help you do that. Now, make sure that the card you're getting supports hybrid power. It doesn't work on every card, but it works on a lot of them, and even the high-end cards as well. Just make sure you do that. Very cool. Now, before I let you go, inside the box, input-output shield, 3-way SLI bridge. Cool to put that on an AMD motherboard. 2 SATA cables, your optional fan for your VRMs and your MOSFETs, SATA cable, 90-degree vertical, and then finally a standard 2-way SLI bridge, a IDE/floppy cable, one of the two. It is a IDE cable. Never gonna use it anyway. Q connectors. Pretty much put in your front panel into these. Plug the whole thing into the motherboard. Saves you your fingers and some time and effort. Very convenient to have those. A driver disc and a nice manual. That is the entire motherboard. Very good stuff. You're looking at the M4N82. Sorry, took a second. That is a tough motherboard to remember. If you have any questions on it, email me, and I'll see you guys next time. For more information on the Asus M4N82 Deluxe NForce SLI motherboard, type in A455-2888 into the search engine of any of these major retailers. For Computer TV, I'm Albert.